With 3 Sonic movies now officially out, and the second and third movie being inspired by the adventure games, and possibly Sonic 4 being inspired from CD, if the movie franchise continues, I think it's pretty safe to say that it might take inspiration from a few of Sonic media, like 06 or Advanced. It might even take inspiration from Sonic shows, even though some of them are not canon to the stories, I'm just saying. While at this time, it is unknown how long the Sonic movie franchise will keep going for and how many movies it will have, it is still fun to speculate on what type of other content can the next Sonic movies take inspiration from. Even though Silver's not coming to Sonic 06, we can agree that and it will be interesting to see an adaptation out of 06. Even though it did not receive well between fans and critics when the time of it came out, it was supposed to be the game to celebrate the 15th anniversary of Sonic, but if you've been there for that time, you know how that turns out into a complete disaster. Besides that, I think the best part for me is the story of that game. I mean, I'm not saying the game is underrated, I just know the terrible things that people have to say from buggy gameplay to long loading screens and the ridiculous stupid ending with Elise kissing Sonic at the end. Like, what the heck? Silver and Blaze are like definitely very important characters to the Sonic universe, so having them appear in the movies will definitely be worth it. I say probably Elise is probably the only character from that universe who doesn't feel like it fit well with the Sonic movies, because that would just make the movie, yeah, it would just make it weird. 06 has a good story and obviously is canon to the entire Sonic universe. Movie adaptation out of that, even though it doesn't have to be too long, like have the game last about 20 hours long, a good 2-hour movie from that specific piece of media would definitely be good to have in, like, say a Sonic 5 or 6 if they introduce Silver and Blaze as the movie franchise continues. If the Sonic movie franchise continues to introduce new characters or very familiar characters like Charmy, it will be pretty clear to adapt Sonic Heroes. I mean, the game is widely loved by fans. Even though there's 3 different options you have to complete the game 3 times with each team 1 time, which is a little annoying, but it's at least the game's ultimate ending. It will be interesting to see if they introduce new characters to have them divided into teams, and then we see their side of the stories, how they do work together through the movie, and see that epic final battle scene with Neo Metal Sonic. Even though Metal Sonic is confirmed to be coming in Sonic 4, it will be interesting to see, even if its neon form doesn't appear there, it will be interesting to have him as the final boss in that particular movie. A movie focusing on 3 different teams will definitely be interesting, as we can see what type of obstacles and any other dangers they have to encounter will have to play out in the movie. So I think a Sonic Heroes movie would introduce new characters like Omega would definitely be something that I'm hoping for. Even though Sonic X is a whole different universe, not being canon to the actual story, I feel like the 3rd season definitely is a pretty good way to end off an entire show. From an epic journey through different galaxies and planets and gathering all the Chaos Emeralds to defeat the Metarex. I feel like they could do this for like the last Sonic movie, or with another option, what I will be talking about later. In my opinion, it was just an epic way to end off the show. You know, you introduce a new character, Cosmo, which I don't think she will appear in the future Sonic movies. In my opinion, season 3 is the best season of the Sonic X show. I just thought it was epic. Like the all 26 episodes going through space with one big plot is just something that I just found good. Like, I feel like that's what one entire season should have been with seasons 1 and 2, but well, technically it was. First season of the show was original script and an original story. Season 2 adapted Adventure 1 and Adventure 2, and then the last few episodes their own original story. And then by season 3, it just went full-blown epic journey adventure and just one big epic fight at the end of the show. Even if Cosmo probably won't be a character in the movie franchise, I feel like having something alongside like that, like going through space and attempting to save the whole universe, will definitely be worth it for like a final Sonic movie. It will be pretty funny, like, to have a little kid version of Sonic and the movie Sonic that we have today go on a fun little journey together. I mean, hear me out. Like, let's say they introduce a lot of characters, and then let's say Robotnik messes with time travel, kind of like what he probably will do in the 4th Sonic movie, and then he will be, instead of the Time Eater, he will be the main antagonist in that particular movie, trying to take over time and then stop both the young Sonic and the normal movie Sonic. Again, that's all I have to say. It will be pretty interesting to see something like this, but obviously that's probably my least anticipated movie idea, but it will definitely be interesting if we did see something like that. With Sonic Frontiers being the highest selling 3D Sonic game of all time, and with a good storytelling and plot, even though Sonic is pretty much the main star of the entire game, that's probably a movie that will be hold up, probably that's close to the end of the Sonic movie, like the one before the last Sonic movie. Maybe end on a little bit of a cliffhanger with the end being destroyed, but then the real threat is Metarex. I think Frontiers is an underrated Sonic game. The only flop I have with this idea, though, is that there's only 2 human characters, being Sage and Robotnik, so Tom and Maddie being there, the chances of that happening is pretty low, so Even though if they don't directly adapt it, they can take inspiration from it. Like maybe some of the familiar soundtrack from the game, familiar enemy faces. And then again, similar to Sonic Heroes, seeing the other three characters have their own story that is shown in the final horizon and what they had to go through to get the emeralds. Something interesting to also point out is that imagine the plot is just all the 7 Chaos Emeralds, but there probably won't be the case. Not every Sonic game or movie will have to go for the emeralds to destroy the enemy. Even though the first Sonic movie was an introduction to the movie franchise, and the very first Sonic game didn't have Super Sonic in it, having a different plot that even if it doesn't involve the 7 Chaos Emeralds would be okay for an adaptation movie. Otherwise, it'll feel like the same plot over and over again, the same ending type of thing. What if they have to use the 7 Chaos Emeralds in every single movie from the second movie and onwards until the movie franchise comes to an end if it happens? And then based on what I said about what future Sonic movies could adapt or take inspiration from, I still feel like the Sonic franchise movie will be successful the more it continues. But yeah, I want the last Sonic movie to be emotional. Like, if they have to end the franchise with an emotional note, with a goodbye, kind of like Sonic and Chris saying goodbye to each other at the very end of the very last Sonic X season. Happy, heartbreaking, emotional at the very end. Wait until that happens and then someone complains of a terrible plot and horrible CGI. There are some other Sonic games that the movie franchise could take inspiration from, like Sonic Lost World or Sonic Forces, but those games, as we all know, does have mixed reviews along the fans. Seeing the movie franchise adapt those two games are very likely slim and just very little. But if they can redeem themselves from the games, it's definitely possible. I would like to see them try if they actually want Forces and Lost World to be redeemed, and maybe even be better than the games and just be like an epic peak cinema movie. That probably would never be the case. They probably would take inspiration from the most famous and successful Sonic games. If I had to guess out of this list, what I mentioned, I feel like the most logical case here will be like Sonic Frontiers or Sonic Heroes, or maybe even 06. Even though 06 didn't do that well, but the story is the best part in that game. So I feel like seeing that as a movie will definitely be something enjoyable for the fans, because, you know, there's no bugs, there's no bad CGI unless they get too lazy, and make it less weird with not Sonic and Elise, the ship, like that. That's my personal ideas of what future Sonic movies could adapt or take inspiration from. I don't know if they will take inspiration from other Sonic games or any other Sonic pieces of media, like redeeming Sonic Prime, the ending of that franchise. Like, I don't know, maybe redeeming the final season of Sonic Prime, but I don't know if that will be the case. I'm 100% looking forward to see where the Sonic movie franchise will go next, and how the movie franchise will continue, and its story, most importantly, including spin-offs like Shadow, that's probably in development, and Knuckles. I feel like by the end, the entire Sonic movie franchise will be remembered as probably one of the best video game movie franchises of all time. And by the end, it would definitely be worth it with all the people who worked hard on these movies. Let me know your ideas in the comments down below if what I said could be true, or what future Sonic movies could adapt or take inspiration from as the franchise continues. But yeah, by the end, let's just all say we're very excited to see where the movie franchise goes next and how it ends. Hopefully it ends on a good note.